What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another live post-game show on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. And tonight I'm here to break down the Kansas City Chiefs 2018-18 victory over the San Francisco 49ers in Week 7 of the NFL season. The Kansas City Chiefs, coming off the bye week, were set to defend their undefeated record in a Super Bowl rematch of last season against probably the best team they've faced so far this year, the San Francisco 49ers. Even though they have a losing record now after losing this game, they're extremely talented. It's a game on the road against a team that had something to prove. You know, the 49ers, they're pissed. They lost the Super Bowl last year to you. They came out to make a statement today, but the Kansas City Chiefs stymie the 49ers offense on their way to a double-digit victory. And I want to start with that because, guys, the Kansas City Chiefs are the only undefeated team remaining now in the NFL. They're the only one. The Minnesota Vikings lost today to the Detroit Lions in a close game. They moved to 5-1. The Chiefs had the best record in the NFL, and it's been a long time since we could say that this far into a season. I mean, a double-digit win over the 49ers. I mean, you really can't ask for much more. It wasn't pretty the entire way through, but the Chiefs got it done, and I just think that's kind of the mantra of this year's team. They find a way to get it done. We knew the Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver core, the skill positions were thin coming into this game. They have been for a while now, but then to make matters worse, Juju Smith-Schuster left the game when his hamstring that he was struggling with in practice during the week flared up on him. He left the game. Xavier Worthy left the game periodically. We were left with only Sky Moore, Justin Watson, and McCole Hardman at wide receiver for this game. And despite all that, the Kansas City Chiefs just find a way to get it done. They find ways. I mean, they were pretty decent on third down today, 8 of 14. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he was 16 of 27 for 154 yards, 2 interceptions. It's kind of hard to criticize Mahomes, especially since he carried the team with 2 massive runs, one being a touchdown where he trucked the 49ers defender. That was awesome to see. And then he had the play where he ran 30 yards and he was able to juke the 49ers defender out of bounds and keep going. Or it kind of looked like Mahomes maybe made it look like he was going to go out of bounds, but then kept going and the defender missed it. But I mean, he just finds a way. No matter what the weapons look like, he's finding a way. And it's kind of interesting because the weapons, you could argue, are worse this year than they were last year at this time. And the offense isn't struggling as much as they were. I mean, you scored 28 points. The magic number is 25. I've been saying that for the past season and a half now. The magic number is 25, and the Chiefs hit 28 points. They win this game. And Mahomes just seems used to it at this point. He seems used to not really having anyone at receiver that he can trust full time. The Kansas City Chiefs leading receiver today was, well, not a receiver. It was tight end Noah Gray. And I think that might be the first time where the Chiefs leading receiver was a tight end that wasn't Travis Kelce. I mean, I'd have to go back and look, but it's probably been a long time since that. And then Kareem Hunt, man, I'll get to him in a second. I want to keep going about Patrick Mahomes, though. So it's okay to admit that Patrick Mahomes hasn't been particularly good this year, but he's playing well enough for the Chiefs to win, and he doesn't really care about his stats. It's rather obvious. I don't know if we'll ever see Patrick Mahomes have another passing touchdown this year. He missed Xavier Worthy on one and then missed him again a second time, leading to his second interception. Sometimes I'm watching these games and I'm just going, man, Pat, what is up with you? But he's doing just enough right now. And until it becomes a problem where the Chiefs start losing games, I'm not going to complain too much. I just wish his stats didn't look so ugly this year. Got to have better stats for the narratives, man. But if he wins the Super Bowl, I can't complain too much. The second leading receiver behind Noah Gray was, of course, Samaje Perine. Everyone would have guessed before the game. And then Xavier Worthy, 3 catches for 19 yards. McCole Hardman had 1 catch for 17 yards, and then he had 2 rushes for 38 yards and a touchdown. McCole Hardman also had a big return in this game. He seems to turn into Jerry Rice versus the San Francisco 49ers, though I am not fooled by this performance. I'm going to need to see more before I declare McCole Hardman a positive player for this team. He made some plays today. I'll give him that, but I'm not too sure if I am buying all the way into McCole Hardman. Kareem Hunt, man. 22 carries for 78 yards, 3.5 yards per carry. Not eye-popping stats, but man, if you watch the games, Kareem Hunt is making an impact. He just is. He looks awesome. It's like anytime he gets the ball, it's just an odd, like, I'm not sure if Kareem Hunt has had a negative play this year. The explosiveness from 2018 may not be there, though he did have a run over 10 yards today, which was the first of any Chiefs running back this season, a run of 10 yards or more. Kareem Hunt had it in this game. It doesn't look flashy, but he's just getting the job done. He's turning plays that typically would go for negative yards with Isaiah Pacheco or CEH or whoever else. He's turning them into positive gains. And I'm going to go as far as to say that when Isaiah Pacheco comes back, Kareem Hunt should still be your starter. And I know that might be a hot, controversial take. Some people may not like that. And I'm not saying Pacheco's bad at all. In fact, they'd make a great 1-2 punch. But I think Kareem Hunt's your starter. I mean, he's just doing things at running back that we've never seen Pacheco do. We're seeing Kareem Hunt have multi-touchdown games now at this point, signing here off the street with multi-touchdown games. Did you guys know Kareem Hunt, first Chiefs running back to have multiple touchdowns and a half since Kareem Hunt? He was the last running back to do it, to have multiple touchdowns and a half. And here he is doing it again. What is it, 6 years later? Just incredible. I mean, his return, his redemption arc, it is a thing of beauty right now to be witnessing. And I just want to see this team feed Kareem Hunt because he's just, he gets the job done. You need a first down, he'll get you a first down. You need 5 yards on first down, he's got it for you. There's a couple plays where the blocking maybe isn't so good, or it's a goal line carry and the 49ers sell out to stop the run. He gets stuffed around. That'll happen. 3.5 yards per carry. It's not bad, but it's also not great. Like the stats aren't eye-popping, but he's just getting the job done. I don't know how else to explain it. He passes the eye test. You watch him play, and he's making things happen. That's the only way I can put it. Chiefs offense had 329 total yards. You'll take that. That'll get the job done. 145 passing yards, 184 rushing yards. Very balanced offense. They only averaged 4.8 yards per play, but 22 first downs, 8 of 14 on third down. Won the time of possession battle, 35 minutes to the 49ers, 24 minutes time of possession. That'll win you a game like this. And the offense is doing just enough right now. Even despite the 2 turnovers, I mean, they looked okay. Patrick Mahomes has got to clean it up, though, for sure. And the first one that he threw to a defensive lineman, some people will say, sometimes that'll happen, bad luck. Actually, I disagree. I think Patrick Mahomes, one of his few weaknesses is he definitely does get baited into throwing into the hands of defensive linemen just a little too much. Maybe try to throw a pump fake in there a little more often or try to sidearm it a little bit, but he's a little too prone to throwing interceptions to defensive linemen. I don't know why, but you can bet on him doing that at least a few times a year. But shout out Noah Gray. I mean, every time the Chiefs needed a big play, he also seemed to be there. 4 catches for 66 yards. He sneakily had a fantastic game. Really good game. Wanye Morris at left tackle going up against Nick Bosa. That was a matchup I was worried about coming into this game. But after the first few drives, I thought he settled in okay. Did the job well. Nick Bosa definitely got him a couple times there at the beginning, but overall, thought the offensive line played well. But this game really is about the defense and Steve Spagnuolo. You even heard Tom Brady on the broadcast. He talked about how Steve Spagnuolo gave him some fits in his playing days. That's high praise coming from him. Steve Spagnuolo continues to be one of, if not the best defensive coordinator in the NFL because he was able to confuse Brock Purdy a ton in this game. And the Chiefs also took some hits in the secondary. Jalen Watson went down multiple times. I remember off the top of my head. Najee Johnson had to come in. He didn't look too good, but the Chiefs were okay. I mean, you had UDFA Christian Roland Wallace, who the Chiefs picked up from, I believe, the Cowboys, I want to say. I'd have to double check that. But undrafted free agent comes in here, gets an interception. And Jaden Hicks had an interception in the end zone, the rookie making plays. I mean, Brock Purdy, let's look at his stat line. 3 interceptions, 17 of 31 for 212 yards, 3 interceptions. The Chiefs defense, everybody. The Chiefs defense got it done. I mean, the secondary was awesome today. Outside of a couple plays, I mean, they really were on their A game, and they were able to confuse Purdy a ton. I thought Steve Spagnuolo brought just enough blitzes, not too much to where you're giving the 49ers, free plays, but they brought enough pressure to confuse them, make some bad throws. George Karlaftis definitely forced one bad throw on the Jaden Hicks interception, and then there was one that I can't remember. Oh, yeah, George Karlaftis had a sack in this game. Justin Reed was the leading tackler, and he had an interception. I will say, though, Justin Reed, he did get dusted by George Kittle one time, and he was just watching him run by. I don't understand what happened there, but otherwise he was all right. Nick Bolton continues to play his best football maybe of his career. I mean, you look at the last 3-game stretch or so, Nick Bolton has been playing out of his mind. He was the second leading tackler. He had multiple huge stuffed runs in this game, or stuffed runs, I should say. And he just continues to play out of his mind. Contract year, man. He's looking for that big extension. And right now, his play is justifying a big extension. It just is. Leo Chenal flashed a few times. I thought Brian Cook had a really good game. Drew Tranquill was great. Jalen Watson, when he wasn't hurt, was great in this game. I thought Felix Inudike-Ozama held up really well in the run game, and I like to see that from him. He hasn't provided you with much pass rush this year, neither have really any of the defensive ends, but I thought Felix Inudike-Ozama held up just fine against the run today, and I like to see that. Negatives from this game, of course, Patrick Mahomes with the interceptions. Also, got to address this. Sky Moore. What is he doing on the team? I mean, what does he provide you at this point? You are down to 4 healthy receivers now, depending on what happens with Juju Smith-Schuster. And you're a big hit to Xavier Worthy again, a big hit away from being down to 3 healthy receivers. Like, you have to make a move. You have to elevate someone. And right now, what you have, it's not enough. And Mahomes' stat line is suffering, which, many don't care about that. And I'm not saying I particularly care because the Chiefs are still winning games, but we want to make Mahomes' life as easy as possible. Give him some damn weapons. And Sky Moore is not a weapon. He's yet to record a catch this year. He gets targeted once in this game, drops it again. Like, dude, you are running out of opportunities to show that you belong on this team. Sky Moore, I mean, he was on a podcast over the offseason talking about, I feel like I'm stuck on level 1 and I need to get to level 2. He's putting in the work. He talks about wanting to catch the ball better. He's been targeted twice this year, and he's dropped it both times. When you have those chances, when you're getting targeted, you have to make the catch, dude. And at this point, enough is enough. Get him off the team. He sucks. And it sucks to say that because you spent a second-round pick on him, but this just feels like, once again, Brett Veach is trying too hard to squeeze as much juice as he can out of that draft pick. He's trying too hard to make Sky Moore into something, and it's not working. Get rid of him. He's done. He's awful. Get him out. I'm done, man. I'm tired of watching him play. I mean, even McCole Hardman at least gives you something. And everyone wants to – when MVS got released earlier this week after the Bills traded for Amari Cooper, and I've been yet to adjust that or really talk about any of the movement on the wide receiver trade market, but whenever that happened, everyone's like, oh, gosh, the Chiefs are going to sign MVS, aren't they? Kind of rolling their eyes. And, I'm not saying MVS would be a great addition or anything, but he sure as hell would be better than Sky Moore. I would take MVS on, and I'm not saying MVS should be the answer to the wide receiver room or anything, but if you just want to sign MVS as a stopgap, as a plug-and-play player until you're able to maybe figure something out of the trade deadline, I'm not going to complain about that because you can't keep putting Sky Moore out there. He's just, in part of my language, he's fucking useless. Sky Moore is fucking useless. Get him out of here. I'm done. HFA Recon, nice to see you in here. Says, remember Snead last year? He's having a bad year so far. Yeah, man, it's looking rough, and I wonder how much that knee is bothering him. We saw the Chiefs do this with Juju Smith-Schuster. They let him go to the New England Patriots. He signed a big deal. Gets cut not even 2 years into the deal. He's brought back to the Chiefs for cheap, looks good in their system. I could maybe see something happen or something similar happening with Snead here a couple of years down the line where the Titans are going, man, this contract, this was a disaster. We're done. Maybe he comes back to the Chiefs on a cheap one-year deal. All of a sudden, he's made into a productive player again. But we'll see. Defense looks good without him. Absolutely. And that's because Jalen Watson has stepped up this year. Jalen Watson has been damn near shut down for the Kansas City Chiefs this year, and it's a thing of beauty to see. Trent McDuffie continues to play like an all-pro. I didn't mention him yet, but he had a really good PBU. I want to say it was on Brandon Ayuk. Otherwise, it would have went for a big gain. And it's amazing how big McDuffie plays despite being slightly undersized, or despite having shorter arms. I mean, he's a stud. He's an all-pro. He's going to be an all-pro again this year. Love to see it. 49ers, 310 total yards on offense. They had 209 passing yards, but the Chiefs were able to hold them to just 100 rushing yards. Let me look at their stats real quick, too. So they held Jordan Mason to 4 yards per carry. I think that's the most that the Chiefs have allowed to a running back this year, and that's not even that great. He had 14 carries for 58 yards, Jordan Mason, and it's like the best game a running back has had against the Chiefs this year. And I mean, look, the 49ers have a really good offensive line. Their rookie, Dominic Pooney, is rock solid, and you still got Trent Williams. I mean, that's a good offensive line, man. It's a good run-blocking offensive line. You expect them to get some decent runs, but the Chiefs, for the most part, held them in check. Their second leading rusher was Brock Purdy scrambling with the football. So, yeah, I mean, the Chiefs did really good. They held the 49ers to 2 of 11 on third down. That's just not going to get it done, man, if you're the 49ers. And then towards the end of the game, the Chiefs were able to muck it up. Or, I mean, the 49ers were able to muck it up a little bit because they knew they were losing. You knew they were frustrated. Temperature boiled over for them, and yeah, they started fights, and yeah, it got chippy towards the end there, and the Chiefs were like, let's end this real quick. Let's get out of here. Otherwise, man, I don't really have too much else to say. You're 6-0. You can't ask for too much more than that. There's things to pick out, and I definitely want to see this offense still improve. I want to see Patrick Mahomes get back to the Patrick Mahomes of old, get the passing game going. Those are some things I want to see going forward. But as long as they're winning games, I just can't – I can't hold on to anything too much. I don't have too many gripes, man. You're 6-0. You're undefeated. You're the back-to-back Super Bowl champions going for a three-peat. You're the only undefeated team remaining. And guess what? The schedule really opens up after this. You play the Raiders next week. After that, you got the Buccaneers. They're a decent team. You get the Broncos after that. Then the Bills. Then you play the Panthers. Then the Raiders, then the Chargers, then the Browns. I mean, could the Chiefs go undefeated? It's a conversation worth having at this point. There's only a couple hard games left on this schedule. Play the Steelers, Broncos again. You have like 2 hard games left, and it's the Bills and the Texans. Outside of that, man, I wouldn't bet money on them to go undefeated. They'll probably drop one at some point. And if they're undefeated by week 17, they're probably going to sit starters or whatever, but who knows? Maybe they'll try to go for the undefeated season. Yeah, man. Kansas City Chiefs, 6-0. Big double-digit win over the San Francisco 49ers on the road. You'll take that all day, every day. Those are my thoughts on the Chiefs' 28-18 victory. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below what you thought of this one. Let me know. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And I'll catch you on the next one. I also should have something up tomorrow night with Michael Darcy of KC Sports Report. We should do something tomorrow night on this game, maybe a Kingdom Crew podcast. Haven't decided yet, but we're definitely going to have some content coming out this week. So be on the lookout for that. Turn on the notification bell. I'll see you all in the next one. Go Chiefs!
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.